thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed with living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph baking in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best in the world of what I do. All y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in. Out of time, so say goodbye. What is yours now is mine, and I dream broken dreams. I make them come true. I make them for you. What up, people? Welcome to a Broken Dreams edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yeah, man, I'm back. I'm back for another week. I wish this was under different circumstances. I wish this was more of a celebratory podcast episode. I wish I was in a way better mood. But guess what? Guess what? To be totally honest with y'all, I'm not pissed off. Even though a lot of things that will come out my mouth during this episode will lead y'all to think that, damn, Mike is as salty as ever. Mike is pissed off. Mike is upset. Mike is not in a great mood. No. That stuff that you're going to hear throughout this episode will belie the actual mood that I'm in. I'm not pissed off. Dare I say I'm not sad. I'm more like numb. Yeah. I'm more numb than anything. I really have. I can't even describe how I feel. For those who don't know, today was Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinal series between my New York Knickerbockers and the Hicks from French Lick. Oh, my bad. The Indiana Pacers, in which the Indiana Pacers defeated us by the score of 130 to 109. And in some cases, the score actually was closer. Well, the score, was closer than the actual game. Listen, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of honor. I'm a man of respect. So even though, tell you the truth, I really was not looking forward to actually setting this up and pressing the record button and showing this simply ravishing body, this simply dashing individual that's on your screen right now. I said, listen, I'm going to take after my team. My team being the New York Knickerbockers, a team that offers no excuses. Look, they made the shots. They beat us. Better team on this Sunday won. The better team in 7 games, well, the better remnants of a team in 7 games won. That's me giving an excuse, not them. And that's not even an excuse. Listen, it is what it is. Now, in my case, there will be basketball? Basketball, what's that? rest of the NBA postseason, NBA playoffs. Somebody said playoffs. Listen. Just as that is orange and blue, and just as this border that you see is orange and blue, guess what? For the foreseeable future, this will probably be the last time you actually see orange and blue on this screen. And I will be concentrating more on the green in the title. The green that's on my chest. The green that should be in my pocket, but it's not. Yeah. So if you didn't know already, I'm going to let you know what this episode is going to be about so we can get this shit on the road. This episode, I'll be talking about this Game 7 loss by my New York Knickerbockers. What it might mean going forward. What all the pundits are probably screaming in their pants saying, yeah, we knew we was right. Or the Nick Lickers. Yeah, I done created this phrase. Nick Lickers. You know what? Matter of fact, the majority of the NBA faithful could suck my Nick. How about that? But yeah, I'll be getting into and venting a lot of my emotions that have been bottled up for the last 2 days. Because if you subscribe, which I do recommend you to do, actually subscribe to this channel, the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, or should I say the Mike Steph channel, you will notice that game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I had immediate post-game reaction videos. Game 6, I refrained for a very good reason. Not because we lost. No, I can give less than if we lost or not. Because look, you see me now after a loss, right? If I can be serious for a minute, and I actually do mean, can I be serious for a minute? This past Friday, the date was May 17th. And that day is very, very important to yours truly. May 17th is the birthday of my late mother. My mother would have been 80 this year. And as you can, I'm quite sure if it happened to you, you would be able to know that that's a very emotional day. I lost my mother 18 years ago this year, and no year ever gets easier. But I'm able to grasp the severity, or I don't even know if that's a good way to say it, but pretty much I'm able to handle it way better than I have been in the past. But regardless of that, that doesn't mean that I was in the greatest of moods. And of course, Knicks losing, not to equate the things, but Knicks losing, I'm like, we were in the mood to do it anyway. Guess what? I'm not doing it. But I love you, Sister Ooh. Me and my sister was able to, well, not able, but we talked. And we actually just look back on the fond times that we had with our madre, if you will. So, all that being said, I was like, look, I'm not, when I get home, I'm not going to do an episode in my car. I'm not going to set up the podcasting equipment to do an episode off a loss. I'm going to celebrate the life and memory of my mom. And that's what I did. So, yeah. But after today, I probably won't be talking about no basketball, because basketball? There's actually basketball going on? What? Matter of fact, I was telling Tyler, Mr. McDowell, I was telling him, like, he asked me, I think he asked me about whether or not he was catching up on the Denver, Minnesota series. I'm like, huh? Who? This team's playing? What's this big orange ball that's being bounced on a hardwood court? I have no idea. So I actually asked my partner on Hidden Gems Football Citi Field next week, next Sunday to be exact. So I guess next week will be a Met-centric episode. Thanks to Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach, because it's on him. And yeah, so whether there's gonna be an episode or not, I don't know. Shoot, it's not like gonna be inebriated, so it probably will have an episode and tell y'all all the shenanigans we got into. Because guess what? It's bobblehead day. We're supposed to meet up at the stadium at 11:30 in the morning. Which 11:30 in the morning? Are you serious? For bobbleheads? First pitch is at 1:40. They don't serve breakfast in Citi Field. Have to be there at 11:30. Yeah, I saw the group text. Yeah, I did not respond because I was saving my response for here. Group text etiquette 101. Let everybody, the world at large, know exactly what the fuck we talk about in our group text. First F-bomb, 11 minutes and 55 seconds in. But yeah, so next week I will be wiping the crust out my eyes to make sure I'm at the stadium when they open the door, open the gates, if you will. The gates of agony, the gates of frustration, the gates of hell, aka Citi Field, so we could get our hands on a precious bobblehead doll of, I don't even know who. What, Pete Alonso? Lindor? Edwin Diaz? I don't know. Regardless. You know what? I'm rambling now. So that means I'm about to get this show on the road. Matter of fact, before I continue, before I get this show on the road, because like I said, StreamYard is doing some shenanigans. And tell you the truth, at this point in time, being effective, what I've gone through this last week when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to the powers that be, when it comes to just this whole fucking platform, if you will, not gonna be on no damn. Yeah, I gotta do my segment here, gotta do my segment here, gotta do my segment here, gotta keep the retention. Fuck the retention. How about that? Do you know? Yeah, I'm letting the cat out the bag. Do you know that my last two episodes, both my full-fledged episode 54 and my sprinkle of salt this past week was tampered with by the powers that be? I don't know what. Y'all have to listen. Why y'all messing with the engine that can? Huh? What did I do to y'all? But regardless, I'm letting the cat out the bag. You know, when you make the little episodes, when you do the videos and you upload them, you're supposed to, you're recommended to write a little description, right? So I write my little description. Let the masses know what exactly is in store when they press that play button. And maybe about 12 hours later, when I happen to just check to make sure, everything is copacetic, guess what? Description gone. I'm like, that's funny. All right, well, let me try it again. And somebody else told me, like, yeah, Mike, damn, what happened? I'm like, what do you mean what happened? So I looked. Description gone. So if you don't have a description, then your shit is nondescript, right? If your shit's nondescript, guess what? It gets no traction. So it's almost like I'm doing this shit for my health. But that brings me back to the original thought process of me doing this. Because every once in a while, I let my mind start going crazy and start running overtime. And then I have to be censored by the words of my brother, my late brother, that at the end of the day, I didn't do this shit to get famous. I didn't do this shit to have numbers. I did this shit because I have thoughts and I wanted the world to hear my salty thoughts. So, hence the salty thoughts of Mike Steph. But that means for all y'all who is tired of me talking about basketball Y'all do know that basketball season's over. That means I can aim, point, aim, and fire at any topic else, any other topic that I want. I mean, I always could, but even more so because guess what? I'm not beholden to no fucking fan base. And tell you the truth, a lot of my viewers are probably appreciate the fact that I get off of sports and I start spraying everything moving. So let that be a warning, a parental discretion advisory, if you will. So with all that being said, I'm going to get this show on the road. Without further ado, good night and goodbye. Bang! The New York Knicks lost in Game 7 to the Indiana Pacers, 130 to 109. The season is over. The season is over. I'm really at a loss for words. Like I said in the intro, I'm more numb than anything. Like, you couldn't tell me that going into Friday, us being up 3-2, that Sunday evening, I would feel the numbness that I feel. It was no fait accompli that we was going to win Game 6. That was always a big task. Would it be the preferred option? Yeah. Buy you a couple days. Hopefully get out of Game 6 injury-free with a win and prepare for Boston. I think I might have said as much. Worst case scenario, we lose, but we lose in a fashion that we're able to keep our energy up, save some gas in the tank for our depleted roster, and we come home to the friendly confines of the Mecca MSG, Madison Square Garden, the Big Apple, and we finish them off in an epic Game 7. That was the worst case scenario, at least going into Game 6. And not only did we lose Game 6, it was close enough that we still had to keep on battling, couldn't rest players, and even more so than that, we lost. Well, we left that game with an injured Josh Hart, abdominal strain, and you had less than 48 hours to get ready for a do or die, all or nothing Game 7. That was probably the worst case scenario going into Friday night. I'm not even going to talk about Friday night because at this point in time, it doesn't even matter. The biggest news was Josh Hart came out of that game injured. He couldn't even finish the game. And if Josh Hart is pulling himself out of a game, you know it's serious. You know it's serious. So we go into Game 7. And we're thinking, Josh, he's going to give it a go. We don't know how effective he's going to be, but we know he's going to give it a go. Outside chance that OG Anunoby will be able to go. Then we're hearing whispers that, listen, OG might be questionable. OG's questionable. That's better than out. He done passed doubtful. He's doing more and more activities on the court. Then we hear maybe about an hour before tip-off that OG is a go. He's going to attempt to play. My thinking is, well, if you're going to attempt to play, okay, if you can give us 10 minutes, that'll spell some time for somebody else. And if he can just give us defense, but the problem is it's his hamstring. the lateral movement, the lateral quickness. We didn't really need his scoring. We needed his defense on Pascal Siakam. So if he's not able to really be mobile, but regardless, better, or at least at the thought, better a compromised OG than no OG at all. Or so I thought. Hart, we knew was going to be compromised regardless. But like I said, we're thinking it's going. We think it's going to happen. Now, like I said, we got news before the game that OG was going to go. But not only was he going to go, and not only was Hart a go, they were going to start. So I'm thinking, well, if they're starting, okay, yeah, it's on and popping, right? OG coming off missing 4 games with his hammy, and Hart with the abdominal strain. I thought it was great. This has to mean that they're at least 75%. But it was clear as day. It was clear as day from the jump that OG was not right. He wasn't right. Now, I'll give him kudos. I'll give him the utmost credit because he actually scored 5 points in his 5 minutes. He shot a 3 and a long 2. But you could tell on defense he was a sieve. He was not able to be active. It's almost like Indiana smelled blood in the water. And it was like, we're not falling for the okie doke. Guess what? You got him on the court, he fooled. And they went right at him. On offense, he was able to spot up, but he couldn't cut. He was just pretty much out there, not even as a decoy. But like I said, he scored 5 points. He gave us what he could, but he couldn't defend. He couldn't run. But 5 minutes in, he was done. Josh Hart, the heart and soul of the Knicks. He tried his best. He tried his damnness. He did everything he could. I mean, and we was almost dropping like flies. Because early in the game, we had Hartenstein on the floor, grabbing his ankle. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Josh even looking at him like, damn, dog. Like, I'm effed up. We don't need you to be effed up too. But you could tell Hart wasn't his normal active self. He turned down a couple open shots because for him to raise up and to shoot in motion, that was painful. So even when he tried to push it, the one-man fast break, just couldn't get it done. Not to what everybody normally expects from him. Which, like I said, he gave us what he could. He gave us 36 minutes. Let me look real quick at the line score. I just happened to see something. Minnesota came back, and they're off to the Western Conference Finals. A 98-90 victory. Towns put all the doubters to rest. But we're not talking about them right now. Talk about my Knicks. Shoot, that might actually give me another motherfucker to root for because Ant-Man is the truth. But regardless, Josh Hart had, in 36 minutes, 10 points, 3 for 9 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. And he fouled out. And he was, with his hampered self, he already was at a height disadvantage guarding Siakam, but being the fact he wasn't able to body him the way he wanted to and really fight for those fight on the boards and fight for those 50-50 balls, it was almost like a fait accompli that this game was not going to go the way we wanted it. So with 3/5 of our rotation hampered, that caused a problem. Looking in hindsight, I will say this. While I will not knock OG trying to give it a go, sometimes you have to save the person from themselves. And I know with our fan base, matter of fact, I won't even say our fan base. I know with the median pundits and certain segments of the population, if he wouldn't have tried to give it a go in an all or nothing, a do or die game 7, everybody would have been like, yo, and we supposed to give him the bag? We supposed to give him the bread? But by him playing, by him being in the starting lineup, by him being ineffective on defense, it effectively did this. It effectively allowed the Pacers to get in rhythm early. It allowed them to have our defense scrambling on rotations early. It allowed them to get the also-rans off early. The Nimhards, the Neesmiths, the Siakams, the Halliburtons, the Turners. Yeah, that's their whole fucking starting 5. Also-rans, front runners, cocksuckers. Yeah, I said it. It allowed them to get into a rhythm. And a rhythm that they had, which was insane. We lost by 21 at home in game 7, right? We were down 12 points after the first quarter. We were down 15 points at halftime. Do you know that the Pacers shot over 70% in the first half? And everybody's thinking, I think the number was like 76, 77% in the first half, which is insane. It's insane for a quarter. It's freaking unbelievable in a half. And not only a regular half, a half in the playoffs, and not only just in the playoffs, a half and a game 7 on the road. I believe part of that came from our defense being compromised at the very beginning. And maybe, just maybe, even though they won't use it as an excuse, and I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but just maybe our morale being deflated just a little bit when OG realized, or when the world realized, especially the roster realized, oh shit, look, that's a dog. We appreciate him, but he can't go. And it's almost like we didn't have a backup option. Oh shit, OG can't go. All right, how are we going to? Because OG actually was literally our only. You take OG out the way, now you have to put Precious Achiuwa in there, which he did a solid job throughout the series. But on the offensive end, it's almost like you're playing 4 against 5, meaning you're going to leave him at the top of the key because he's no threat from the 3-point line. It changes everything. Also, with Brunson struggling early, changes everything. It changes that Josh Hart isn't able to get the rebound and push the rock. Changes everything. But once again, you're not thinking that the Pacers are going to continue shooting at a 70% clip. No. Not only that, do you know that they shot 67% from the field for the entire game? This cocksucker on your screen right now, with his skinny, bony ass legs, is the reason why Jalen Brunson fractured his left hand, his shooting hand, his dominant hand. Maybe if he had more meat on his bones, pause, maybe it would have bounced off. Not saying it would have made a difference, but once Jalen Brunson went down, our season was effectively over. Regardless. There was a whole bunch of videos on social media, and I'm watching in real time, and I've been watching him for the majority of the series because listen, I don't be watching Indiana games on my off time. Got better things to do. I like pussy. If you like pussy, you have better things to do than watch Halliburton highlights, Halliburton games, Halliburton as an individual, as an entity, as a crew. Because as much as I might like pussy, I don't like watching this pussy ass dude. But I digress. There was a point in which, matter of fact, no, I'm almost getting caught off guard. I mean, off track. I know in the NBA that traveling is not a thing. That the that the Euro steps, the more than three steps is not a thing. But this mother effer was playing skip to Malou. He was shuffling his feet every time he was trying to ready for a 3-pointer off the catch. He's shuffling his feet. And people are like, oh, that's the gather step. Look, there's a difference between a gather step and shuffling your feet for the. And that's what he was doing. It wasn't called. Like I said, no excuses. No excuses. No excuses. No excuses. There was a stretch in which Halliburton scored like, I don't know he scored 3 straight baskets. I don't know if they were 3 threes or 2 threes and a 2. But it was like 8 straight points in the second quarter. And it really put us behind the 8 ball the rest of the game because it was like, let's say it was maybe about a 6-7 point lead, and that stretched it out to 14, 15. And then we was fighting that deficit for the duration of the game. We came out in the third quarter with the push to close the gap to 6 points. I think it was 73-67. Like I said, we was down 15 at halftime. We closed the gap to 6 midway through the third. MSG was jumping. The crowd was hyped. Turnover by McBride. Leads to a 3. Another turnover. Leads to an N1. That 6-point lead is now back up to 12. And it's almost like, at that point in time, it's like, fuck. That was our opportunity. Especially being the fact we're hampered. We got it down to 6. You can see they start fumbling with the ball. All the players that was hot in the first half, they cooled off to the tune of 66%, which is nuts. It's nuts. But we are calling the pace down. But they brought it back up. He had dudes like Nimhard going for 20 points. Neesmith scored 19 points. They got 12 points off the bench from Knicks killer TJ McConnell. He killed us the entire series. Every time there was a run, especially these games that could have went either way, or when the game was in the balance, it's almost like he always was able to get into the paint and get that ball inside the hoop. He killed this whole series. They had 6 plays in double digits, led by this fuck boy right here, the one in the yellow. Say what? What? Is it me? Did I do that? Look at him. Act like you've been there before. Well, actually, he hasn't. That's the problem. I just wanted us. I want us to win specifically because I wanted to see him cry and wine, but it wasn't meant to be. Because when I swear, those games where they were getting their ass whooped, matter of fact, I won't even say get their ass whooped. Those first 2 games, he wasn't talking all that shit. He got back home. Maybe he got some home cooking. Maybe he got some home ass. But he got back home, start feeling himself. Came back to the garden, quiet as a mouse. But once they was able to get off to that lead, that big lead to give them that big cushion, it was off to the races for this fuckboy. Shoot, him and Drake, they share a lot of qualities. And I'm not going where you think I'm going, but they share a lot of qualities. Flipping, man, I can't believe. I'm just so numb. BURKS and DIVINCENZO, Alec Burks, and White Dante carried the load. Dante, I mean, what can you say? What can you say? It's one thing for you to pop shit and not be able to back it up. He popped shit and he left it all out there. He dropped 39 in the game 7. And he literally was our offense. Even before Brunson broke his left hand in the 3rd quarter. He was our offense. Alec Burks was his cohort. So when you can get 26 points in a game 7 from Alec Burks, who on the low kept us within fighting distance in the 2nd quarter with 14 in the quarter, you have to feel good about your chances. But the problem is he scored 14 to keep us within 20. Like I said, Dante went off for 39 points and 9 threes. And it still wasn't meant to be. The nail in the coffin. The nail in the coffin. To me, was Brunson getting hurt. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that they didn't have control over the game before he got hurt. But it was one of those things like, all right, if he fractured his hand, even if we do come back and win this game, we're out 6 players going into the Eastern Conference Finals. We have 1 point guard left on the roster. Well, we're gonna run out Deuce and Burks as our starting backcourt with DiVincenzo as our 3, Precious Achiuwa as our 4, and Hartenstein as our 5. With who coming off the bench? So it was like that was the point in which the glass slipper fell off, which is strange to say for a 2 seed. But I'm talking about my New York Knickerbockers. Because if anybody said at the very beginning of the season, yeah, I'm choosing to look at it as revisionist history. If anybody said at the beginning of this year that you would lose a game 7 at home in the 2nd round, I say you're lying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we wouldn't have made the playoffs. But if anybody would have said we was a game away from the Eastern Conference Finals, that's probably the better way to put it. That we was a game away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals, I would have said, word, I'll take that. And then if you look toward the last couple of months where body after body after body after body after body, body after body after body after body after body are going down, and we still got to the precipice of being in the Eastern Conference Finals, I guess I'll say that was a win. And they still fought. They still fought. Even when it was D-O-N-E, done, they still fought to the end. They got it back down to 12 midway through the fourth. And even in the post game, Brunson went out like a soldier. He took responsibility and said no matter what his individual accomplishments was, what his individual achievement were this year, it paled in comparison due to the team not moving forward. Class act as always. Class act as always. It was a valiant effort, which brings me to this. The small, minute population that's on social media really makes, once they get out that bubble, they mean nothing. But when you're in the heat of battle, when you're in the heat of the moment, watching these games, and of course you're trying to get, I won't say trying to get engagement, because that's what the majority of these thirsty ass Nick lickers out there are trying to do. Get engagement, nicks for clicks. I choose, and the majority of true, real Knicks fans choose to give it to Coach Thibodeau. Like I've said before, and I guess this will be probably the last time I say it until next season, into a rear its ugly head again, that I hate the narrative being spun by all these thirsty ass Nick riders over his overuse of the players. Like, really? When you're down 8 players, who the fuck is he supposed to turn to? I'll wait. Oh, y'all. Oh, I don't hear nobody saying anything, right? I don't hear anybody coming up with a snappy answer, right? Regardless of that, this team always had his back, no matter what. No matter what. Nobody said anything slick. Everybody knew what role there was. If anything, at the very beginning of the season, because I remember this was it was bubbling underneath the surface, but it never bubbled over. Josh Hart and Thibs, I won't say they was butting heads, but little subs here and there. And it mainly came down to Josh Hart wanting to know, okay, what's my role? Tell me what my role is, and I'll run through a brick wall for you. Just let me know. I don't know if I'm playing 5 minutes one way one day, 15 minutes the next, 40 minutes the next. Let me know what you need from me, and I'm going to give it to you. Once they got that, in a roundabout way, they was forced with the injuries that they attained for Josh Hart to get in there, but he knew what his role was, and he was a loyal soldier. He ran through everything. Brunson was asked the question in the post game scrum. What did he believe, or did he believe that Thibs evolved throughout the season? He was like, yeah, like he felt that him being flexible, him having an understanding of the players, and the players have an understanding with him, made everything nice and cohesive. That was the foundation, the foundation of the culture was built last year. Throughout the trials and tribulations of this year, we're having to mix and match and really depend on people and putting them in spots that normally they wouldn't want to go to. But guess what? For the betterment of the team, they was ready to go. That camaraderie that is built throughout this season, the trust that the coaching staff had with the players and the players in turn had with the coaching staff is like, look, I know y'all not putting us in any type of position to fail. Y'all only striving to put us in position to succeed. Those will hurt his words, not mine. I mean, those are my words, not his. Led to the point that everybody, to a man in that organization, everybody to a man in that locker room was like, y'all better take care of Thibs. We don't listen to the outside noise. We don't listen to everybody that's running to the next latest fad. We're not listening to nothing out there. He listens. Matter of fact, he hears what's going on, but he don't give a fuck. And if he don't give a fuck, guess what? We don't give a fuck either. They gave him everything that they had. All the arrows being shot at him, and the team didn't take away any of that. They didn't take any of those arrows being thrown personally, and they didn't catch him and throw him at the coach or throw the coach under the bus like other organizations, like other players that people are starting to clamor. Well, the media is starting to clamor to come to Gotham. Nah, man. Nah. Trust and believe. Everybody to a man is going to take all this hate as fuel and fuel them throughout the offseason to get ready for next season. Looking for revenge. Revenge tour. Not the Liv Morgan revenge tour. Nah, the Knickerbocker revenge tour is full effect. I'm looking for revenge. Oh, 2024. Oh, 2024. Telling you. Because everybody was gloating in the post game, saying, yeah, they finally got one more injury that they could counter. Yeah, I bet that Thibs, I bet this is proving that you don't play your players 40 minutes during the game, every game. Listen, like I said before, and I'll say it again before I get into the last subject, which is the off-season prep. Julius Randle separated shoulder from a fall. OG Anunoby, elbow surgery from contact. Mitchell Robinson, twice, ankle surgery due to contact. The last one being dirty ass Embiid. To this day, I swear, just for the fact he had to go and do another procedure, his ass should be suspended next season. Not for the duration of the season, but listen. Next time the Knicks play the Sixers, they need to put that cocksucker on his ass. Pronto. 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 Jalen Brunson hurt his foot, banged his foot on somebody's leg. Broke his hand, banged it on somebody's leg. Contact. OG pulled his hamstring. Okay, that happens. Josh Hart overexerted himself, overextended himself. Abdominal strain. Trust me, I've been going through an abdominal strain for the last 2 weeks. And tell you the truth, maybe I shouldn't speak too soon, but now I just realized this shit hasn't really bothered me today. I was doing some pull-ups. And hurt my chest. Because, the older you get, sometimes you're not as athletic as you used to be. I was trying to dig for some gold, dig for some Well, it's not hitting treasure because shit. Listen, I know where the treasure's buried. And I pulled something. So I can imagine going for a rebound, you're gonna pull something. If I'm pulling something trying to pawn some balls, paws, pawn some cheeks. Regardless. See where my mind is at. Those are not injuries from overuse. Those are physical injuries. But like I said, it's easier to just take shots at Thibs, take shots at his overuse, take shots at them actually being a blue collar team, the blue collar hero to the widows and the masses as a team, and get some engagement, Knicks for clicks. Now, off-season thoughts. Like I said, the worst part, matter of fact, before I get into off-season thoughts, I got to show you this. When I saw this, I should have known that today was not our day. No, I'm not talking about Spike Lee. Nope, not talking about Spike Lee. Even though Spike Lee, listen, I got questions with Spike Lee, but regardless, listen, he's been there since forever. Fine. It's that cocksucker that's on the side of Spike Lee in a cream-colored suit. Before Memorial Day, I might add, the way he sashayed, yeah, I didn't say walk, I said sashayed his ass into MSG. The way he sashayed his ass through the court, on the court, pregame, like he was in the game, like he was prepping for the game. I knew it was not going to be out. Fake ass. Mother effing f.a.n, f.a.n. Y'all do with those initials what you choose. There's a lot of acronyms f.a.n can stand for. Could be a freaky ass, fake ass, funny ass, whole bunch. And I'm actually refraining from letting y'all know what that stands for. Y'all be the judge. Y'all be the judge. Listen to Not Like Us, and y'all have an idea at least what the N stands for. But like I digress. The worst part about us getting eliminated is a topic in which I've talked about before, a topic that I'll probably have to revisit once the NBA pro season has concluded and free agency has started, as I take a swig of seltzer water for the record, man. Fantastic. Now, all off season, I'm gonna have to hear all these talking heads on all these platforms, all these programs, all these videos say we should get this guy, and we should get that guy, and we should get this guy, and we should get that guy. We should go after LeBron, or we should go after KD in a trade, or we should try to put our resources to try to get Donovan Mitchell, or we should try to get Devin Booker, or whoever else fits that ilk of player in which everybody's so enamored by. And you know what I say to that? Same thing I've been saying before. Same thing I've been saying before, and the same thing I'll say again and again and again and again and again. We don't need them. We don't need none of that crap over here. We don't need none of that prima donna diva shit over here. Not at all. We don't need anybody who thinks he's better than the team, that he's bigger than the franchise, that he's bigger than the sun, that the earth and the sun revolves around him. No, we don't need none of that. We don't need anybody coming in and disrupting the identity that we built over the last 2 years. The culture that we built over the last 4 years. We're a top 3 defensive team since OG joined. We were 26-5 in games that OG Anunoby played. I'm not counting this game. He played 5 minutes. We were 1 game below 500 without OG since he came. We are a blue-collar, hard-working team. And we need to continue. We need to continue being a team. Not saying we don't need, we might not need it at a part here or there, but we don't need to tear all this down. And for even Gilbert Arenas ass talking about, well, you know, they're gonna. I think Draymond is right because XYZ. I think Draymond is right because, you know, they're gonna have to tear this down, or they're gonna have to give everybody back. Everybody back like who? Who? OG has a player option this year. You pick up the player option, you extend them off that. Hartenstein. We have the early bird rights for Hartenstein. Now, the ball is going to be in his court because the most we could give him is 4 years for 72 mil. Where'd I get it done? It's on him. If he can get a bigger bag elsewhere and he wants to just chase the bag, that's on him. But if he wants to stay here and he doesn't mind taking 72 mil, then he's going to stay here. Alec Burks, yeah, that would be a nice piece to have on the bench because guess what? We dusted him off and he came in clutch. But he's not going to break the bank. Brunson is not, he's extension eligible, but he's not taking extension this year. He'll be a fool to. He can get the Supermax next year. Julius Randle coming off a shoulder injury. He's extension eligible. I'm quite sure he probably wants to get more money too, so he's not going to try to ask for one. Who else is there? Precious Achua. Yeah, he's gonna throw our salary cap into a boondoggle. Ha ha ha. A hornswoggle, if you will. I swear, some people be just talking out their ass. Like I'm saying, I'm watching the show because it's entertaining at points because you know who's the unsung hero of that show, who I never thought I would even say that? Rashard McCants. Because he be checking them. And they be trying to act like he's stupid. He be checking them. But regardless, in that particular topic, Gil was talking out his ass. Same thing with Draymond Green. I think Draymond predicted that Denver was going to win. Guess what? Denver lost. And I'm going to look right now. Denver got outscored 60-37 in the second half at home. Like I said, maybe, just maybe, Ant-Man might keep my interest. Because I think out of the 4 teams remaining, that would probably be the team that I would be rooting for, would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. Even just to get to the finals. But Ant-Man, listen. But we have a top 10 player on our team. All the talk for whether Brunson is not a 1A, he's maybe a 1B. No, he's a 1A. He was top 5. Was he top 5 in the MVP voting? Or MVP consideration? Best believe this bitter taste in his mouth right now, he's not gonna have it. He even said in the post game, it's like, look, job wasn't done, job wasn't finished. So for as much of all the accolades I'm getting right now, Mean nothing. And when he says that, he don't say that just for show. He means that shit. He means that shit. You're gonna go back in the lab. You're gonna say, all right, this is what they was able to do. Guess what? Next year ain't gonna be none of that. He's done it every single year. He's been in the pros. He's gotten better and better and better every year. And I have no reason to think that he will not do it once again. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to.
Fuck that! Clear, guys. Fuck that! You shut your mouth. Doesn't mean that this shit stops. The Rock doesn't give a fuck.
I thought I got rid of that mother effer. He has the audacity to interrupt my outro, my spiel, if you will. As I was saying, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me the podcast y'all choose to view and the podcast y'all choose to listen to. Check me out next week, where I guess I will have a recap on my adventures in City Field with none other than Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach, the brother Tao, Jackie, and friend. My bad. Sure, I forgot to do his name. Sue me. It's gonna be a fivesome, a quintet, if you will. So I'm quite sure there'll be a lot of hijinks, a lot of banter, and a lot of material that I can use to give me some type of semblance of an episode next week, because fucking Knicks are done. Knicks are done. Stitch. Knicks are done. Season's done. I mean, football is not that close by.
Say it to you slowly and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
I mean, I'm itching for that. You know, it makes no sense. I mean, am I going to talk about the Mets?
Uh-oh. Fuck you. 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 Uh-oh.
No, I ain't talking about the Mets for so much. Like, shit, they're 2 games out the wild card. Whoopee! They won 1 game. What the last game of their 3-game set against the Miami Marlins. Whoopee! Edwin Diaz is on the verge of losing his closer role. Whoopee! So, yeah, that's my Met talk for today, for this week. And yeah, so I might as well get to the plugs. What? Right. It's all right. It's all right. Check out the audio version of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, amongst others. New episodes drop each and every Wednesday. Check me out on the social medias. Check me out on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mike Steffens, _. Check me out on the gram at Mike_Steph, and check me out on TikTok at Mike Steph _. Put some money in my Cash App. Cash App me some money. $ Donnie Mike on Cash App. And check out my new blog, MikeStephOrg.wordpress.com, where I think the latest entry was another entry of, matter of fact, another verse that will never, ever be recorded. Yeah, in my ongoing series of I'm writing verses and I will never put mic to mouth, or mouth to mic, or mic to mic. How about that? Mic to mic action. When football season comes, check out Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself. New episodes will drop during the football season each and every Thursday, which you pause for 1 minute, which is going to be a problem because there's going to be a lot of primetime games for my New York Jets. Couple Thursday games too. Meaning that everyone that I'm quite sure looks forward to my Jet hijinks on HGF is in for a long season because, as everybody knows, we usually choose at least 3 games. The majority of the time, we concentrate on the primetime games or the standalone games. And being effective, my Jets have 6 standalone games, amongst others. Looks like we'll be talking about a lot of Jet talk, right? Right. Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph. New episodes will drop each and every Thursday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. And while you're over there, check out my boys, Winchester and McDowell from Gimmick Infringement.
Click the record button. That promposals are still happening and very important these days.
Yes, they are, and I think they're really cool. I love a good promposal. I'm a sucker for a good promposal. Hear me out. I'm saying this up front before I bury it. I am a sucker for a good promposal. If you were asking somebody out that you aren't currently dating, make a big deal out of it. I'm here for it. If
you heard him, it's actually time for me to actually get another clip from the brothers from GI. All I know is the suspense is killing me because I got sent a picture of a Chia Richie. Not a Chia Pet, a Chia Richie. You know what a Chia Richie is? A Chia Pet of Lionel Richie. Well, at least that was my interpretation of it. I wasn't told I was wrong, but I think that has something to do with this week's episode of Gimmick Infringement. So check it out. Also available on the 19 Media Group. I think that's about it. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Sure, I'm getting out of here early. Wow. For all the new viewers, the new subscribers, thank you. Please like, please subscribe, please press that notification button so whenever I decide to drop, y'all will be the first ones to hear it.
Fuck that! Clear, guys. Fuck that! You shut your mouth. Doesn't mean that this shit stops. The Rock doesn't give a fuck.
I'm gonna have to do something about that. Because it seems like anytime I'm trying to get more eyes on that product right here, you got this cock.
Fuck that!
Popping up on my screen. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So, I don't know. Maybe we could find a hole someplace. Or matter of fact, how about this? Maybe we can get a needle just big enough to actually withdraw some of the steroid out of the Rock's head and stick it up. Matter of fact, turn that son bitch sideways and stick it up straight up his candy ass. Yeah, let me get out of here. Until next week. Stitch, you got anything else to say? See, I didn't leave you to last. You got anything else to say? Stitch says he loved y'all. Stitch says he hopes he keeps this Knicks hat on forever. And he just told me something that's not actually appropriate for human ears. So I'm not going to repeat that. So with all that being said, I'm going to see y'all later. Goodbye. That was nasty. That was real fucking nasty. I don't know. I might have to send you back up to the bang zoom to the moon. Oh, my bad. Goodbye.